Hello there, and welcome to another Starfield ship review video. In today's video, we're going to be looking at the Murasame. I'm probably butchering that. Quick Google search told me that it is a Japanese word that means roughly autumn rain, which is kind of cool, like the namesake. This seems to be a derivative of the Zumwalt by Nova Galactic. These are both Nova Galactic ships. They seem to be all Nova Galactic ships to my knowledge. No, that's a Shroud Eklund Docker. So for the most part, this is... we've got some Tayo pieces underneath too. It's a pretty cool looking ship though. Very unique color scheme. I like the black and orange. This is the first time we've had a Nova Galactic vessel where they actually painted those landing gear. A lot of the time they just leave them one color. This is also... there's a variant of this vessel called the Ecliptic Mercs use, called the Rapier, which is pretty interesting. So clearly the fact that there's multiple variants of this ship just is a telltale sign that it's a really good ship. So looking at the stats, we've got 580 fuel, which is pretty decent. I feel like anything above 400 is like really good. We've got 821 hull, which for a B class isn't too bad. Like, almost at that 1k mark. I feel like 1k is like the sweet spot for ships with combat. Anything more, obviously, the better. It's got a cargo capacity of 470, which makes me think this is a combat vessel. Also, looking at the weapon layout, I would believe it. So it's got a B-class reactor, 24 power. That's not the worst reactor, but it's not the best reactor either. I'm sure you can upgrade it to something better. When we do a teardown at the end of the video, we'll see. But just going by the weapons on it, we're probably going to need a lot of reactor power. So we've got a crew of 6. Excuse me. A jump range of 25 light years, which is... it's pretty good. It's above average. You can probably jump to about 70% of locations on the map currently. It's got 700 shields, which for a B class isn't bad. I want to say the highest shields for B class is like maybe 1050. So... if you wanted to make this more combat appropriate without upgrading to a C-class reactor, you could upgrade the shields. And then weapon-wise, we've got a pair of lasers, a pair of ballistic, and a singular missile launcher. So the two lasers are mounted on the front landing gear. Their autocannon ballistics are mounted on those little wings, and then we got a missile on the top. So this, I don't believe there is a tier version of this ship. This is the default version. It cost me 171k. That is with the various perks in the game. It might be a little bit more expensive for you, so we're going to purchase it real quick. So I found mine here at the ship service specialist in Gargarin, which is, let me show you real quick. So here it is in Gargarin, Gargarin landing on the Gargarin system, or Gargarin planet. And then it's in the Alpha Centauri system, so there's New Atlantis over there in Jemison. It's just over here. Then we zoom out. We see there is an Alpha Centauri. Anyway, we're going to really quickly jump and check out the ship. Okay, so here we are in my usual spot. So just looking at it, it's very eye-catching. I really like the color scheme. They do a really good job of it. It'd be interesting. See, this is one of the issues with Starfield's like kind of ship stuff, is there's no like lore behind it. I kind of wish it had like a lore blurb, you know, like when you buy the ship, it was like, this ship was made in the year blah 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 for like a private contractor. Because like I want to know like why was this ship made? You know what I mean? Like it's clearly based on a Zumwalt, so is it like an upgraded version? Did they do like kind of a one-off thing? This is where like people like me kind of have to speculate, so I'll do my best. But anyway, let's not break my leg. So it's obvious that they wanted like a heavier combat loadout than the Zumwalt, just judging by the fact it's got like a nice setup. So we've got a Nova Galactic entryway, really nice. We got some Tayo braces behind. Thanks, Vasco. All right, so interior is a ladder. I always like this Nova Galactic design. Just give these little windows. It's very cool. Ladder, you want to work? Perfect. Okay. So, like the Zumwalt, there's not going to be much on this ship. It's primarily a combat vessel. So we shall see. So immediately we are greeted by a 1x1 storage room. And then if we go back here, we have an engine room.
Talk to me, my dear friend.
Which is interesting. I probably wouldn't be my first choice on a ship like this. And then off to the side here we have a...
Yeah?
I believe this is an all-in-one berth. Got a little toilet there, so you can, you know, do your number 1 and number 2. You got a nice globe there. It's pretty nice. Some med pack stuff. And then the other side here, we have a armory, which is nice to see. I can't remember if the Zumwalt has an armory. It's been so long, but I'm going to assume it probably does. I'd be surprised if it didn't, because I feel like these ships are, like, statistically they're the exact same. Not statistically, but aesthetically. And then if we come up here, we have a little 1x1 storage room with the docking hatch up there, which is pretty interesting. If it was up to me, and initially I wasn't really a fan of this engine room, but I think it probably helps the aesthetic exterior from the exterior. I'd probably slap maybe depending on how you want to play it. I'd probably swap out this armory for a captain's quarters, just so you have like crew quarters there, captain's quarters. And then, oh, we have a control room. Okay, I was going to say put down a control room, but we already have one, which is bonus points. Now, if you wanted to, you could easily take out this engine room and put another one, maybe a workshop, be more practical. But I don't mind this engine room. I feel like the Nova Galactic ones are like some of the more like nicer looking ones, because it's got a nice mix of like engineering stuff, like these tubes and these things, while also having like computers, which is nice. Anyway, we'll head through. Excuse me, everybody.
How are you?
Doing good, Cora. We got the nice little Nova Galactic computer room. Unlike Deimos, or not computer room, control room. Unlike Deimos, they actually give you seats, which is really nice. And then we have a Nova Galactic bridge. Now there's two variants of these bridges. I'm not overly don't get me wrong, I like this bridge, but I actually prefer the other variant. There's another variant where the seats are facing that way. They're facing towards the cockpit, and they're like slightly down in like a little pit, but still really, really cool. You can tell it's very kind of old school. Got like that kind of the sort of shielding you'd see on like our space ships. Anyway, let's take it for a rip. I'm expecting good things with this, but the reactor has me a little worried, so we shall see. Very cool design, very arrowhead, similar to Deimos, but like a lot sharper. So let's take off. Something that I find quite interesting about these Nova Galactic ships. So if you notice with the Nova Galactic landing gear, it has those like thrusters at the front, and basically what they are, which I'm assuming, are retrograde thrusters that basically allow you to slow down, which would make sense from like a lore point of view, because in real life, if you didn't have a grav drive and you were making jumps inside the system, like say from Earth to Mars, you would have to get up to a certain speed and then cut your engine and coast, and then you'd have to slow down. And in some sci-fi, they use they basically spin the ship. Expanse does that, which is really cool. But all the Nova Galactic vessels have these engines at the front. Let me show you again. So they have these. So it's like kind of cool. It's a nice little touch. Like, you know, when you had to basically speed up and slow down. It's really cool. Anyway. So I have a perk that increases my... Hold on now. I need to... Got a crewmate problem. 1 second. Alright, we're back. Sorry about that. I had to kick Sam out again because, yeah, he messes with everything. He's a good companion to have, but when I'm trying to do these ship reviews, he's kind of obnoxious. So I have a perk that increases my power by 5. So that's why I'm not putting those 5 pips in. So weapon-wise, we've got a pair of those lasers. Slow firing, but I'm assuming they're going to be hard-hitting at B-class. A pair of these auto cannons. Again, quite slow firing, but hard-hitting. And then we've got this missile launcher. We're going to do a boost. It's got a boost speed of almost 600. And then it's got a like base speed of 150. So yeah, just looking at the pip system, if you don't have the perks that I have, I mean, even if you did have the perk, I would recommend getting a better engine. Also, that single is it one missile launcher? That single oh, I didn't actually notice that. That single missile launcher uses a lot of power. I'd swap that out immediately. I'll do a quick agility test. Do a pitch. Oh yeah, she's very agile. That's like easily an 8. And then yaw. Yaw's again. Yaw's as fast. 8, maybe possibly 9. Then we got a roll. So yeah, all in all, very, very cool ship. Just a bit problems with power. We're going to really quickly go down to the planet now and do a teardown. Alright, so here we are. We've tore the ship into 3 sections there. So we have the top section, which only consists of 1 habitat. Well, 2 technically. We've got the Nova Galactic 1x1 companionway, and then we have a Connect Pro docker. Now, weirdly, I don't know why the ship manufacturers didn't just use a Nova Galactic docker, personally. It would have suited better. I mean, if you're trying to make this ship yourself, or you get this ship and you want to modify it to make it only Nova Galactic, I'd slap this on. And then, yeah, that's the docker. And then for weapons on here, we just have this Atlatl 290B missile launcher. 10 power. 10 power. Are you... what? So it has a range of 4,800 like meters. And does a hull damage of 100.79. But I can't justify 10 power. That is... scrap that immediately. Like, just to compare, these ones here only require 3 power. And they do 31 damage, and their fire rate is quite decent. This thing, fire rate's abysmal. Like, it says 1, but, like, we don't really know what that means in terms of, you know, but it's slow. And then we have a pair of these helium-3 tanks, 600T. They each give 290 fuel. We've got these SA-4110 engines from Slayton Aerospace, A-class. A-class? Why A-class? Okay. A-class, 2 power, 12,220 engine thrust, and 2,930 maneuvering thrust. There's also more engines we'll get to in a second. And then for shield generator, we have the Warden SG-200 shield generator from Sexton Shield Systems, B-class, 6 power, 690. So really quickly, I'm just going to check. So B-class, 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 B-class. Okay, yeah, so this bad boy is going to set you back 27,000 compared to this. So double the price, you get almost 3 times the power. So I'd probably recommend upgrading to this as soon as you can, just because it's a superior shield generator. And then we have the grav drive here. It is an SGD 2200 grav drive Slayton Aerospace. B-class 27 grav jump thrust, which in this configuration gives us 25 light years, which is pretty interesting. I'm trying to see where the engine is. Ah, the engine's at the bottom, okay. And then in the second middle section of the ship, we have the modules. So at the front, we have this Magellan C2X cockpit from Nova Galactic, is 260 cargo, crew stations of 2. We've got this Nova Galactic control station, 2x1. We have the 1x1 companionway. We have the 3x1 engineering bay. And we have an armory, 2x1. And we have an all-in-one berth, 2x1. B. And then as for the weapons, we have a pair of these Scorch P60 megawatt pulse lasers from Lightsight, B-class, 1500 range, 2.5 fire rate, and 32 shield damage with 4 max power. They're not bad. Like I say in my other videos, usually I go for the less power the better, just because, but they're pretty decent. And then these bad boys, the KE-42 cannons, B-class, 1500 range, 2.5 fire rate, 31 damage to hull, and 3 power. I would swap these out for the autocannon variant, if I can find them real quick. I prefer the autocannon variants. Here they are. Are these the same ones? Okay, these are the 42. Ah, because we're B-class. Okay, give me a second. We gotta find the B-class ones. Where are they? Yeah, so I would swap these for the... I would swap these for the autocannon variants. Just because you lose a little bit of damage, but you double the fire rate. So it's just better DPS. And then for the engine, or for the landing gear, we've got a pair of these NG15 landing gear. Front, and then we have 4 at the back here. They're the exact same landing gear. They've just been kind of... If you press Y on them, you can like... Or not press Y, but there's like a second version that has these like front retrograde thrusters. And then on the back here, we have this Nova Galactic Bracer. And another pair of the same engines, just, yeah, different configuration. And then on the bottom here, we have NG Landing Bay 6 from Nova Galactic. That seems to be the only habitat. And then we have this reactor. 102DS Mag Inertial Reactor from Dogstar, B-Class, 24 power. Now, I can tell you already, there's better reactors immediately. Let me see here. So we're going to go B-Class. Like, this is an A-Class. And this one's here. This is 10k more. It gives you basically 9. But there's more if we go and look into the B. We've got a... there we go. 35 reactor there. That's an extra 11. That's B. And that's... It's double the price, obviously. But that's a better reactor. And then let's see. Do we have any... I believe this is... Okay. Yeah, okay. So there's... This one here. This is, I believe, the best B-class reactor in the game. It is a version of this. It's 2 above it. So I would recommend swapping out to this one as soon as you can, because that will give you more than enough power. And then for the cargo, we have a Sextant Shield system, 100 cm ballast cargo hold, 210 cargo. Pair of these Nova Cowlings. And then we have a pair of these Nova Cowlings 2LBF. And then a pair of these Nova Bracers. So yeah, that's the ship. As is. Oh, no, I don't want to change. Just want to... So, all in all, it's a very cool ship. It's definitely an upgrade on the Zumwalt. I don't know if it's an upgrade on the Rapier. I'm going to say it is, because I don't remember the Rapier having 2 sets of primary and secondary weapons. But it's definitely a good ship to run if you're looking to run it. Very unique color scheme. It's Nova Galactic, which means it's vintage. Just swap out that Docker for a Nova Galactic Docker, and you can say it like pretend it was one of the first ships ever built. I'd swap out that turret, or that swap out that that missile launcher on the top. You could replace that with 10 power. You replace that with like 3 particle weapons to get you more bang for your buck. And then I would recommend replacing the reactor and the shield as soon as you can. But anyway, that was the review, guys. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and check out my other videos. And then let me know in the comments what you think of this ship. Have you guys come across it? Have you flown it? Is it something you'd like? Is it something you don't like? But yeah, bye.